So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining in. I felt really strongly about doing this because of what's going on. The coronavirus has really been on so many people's minds lately, and I've been getting so many texts about how worried and how concerned everyone is feeling. And I share that feeling, I share that concern. Yes, these are really trying times for us. And recently during coaching sessions, someone said to me, I'm just too worried to be thinking about passion right now. And I get it. But here's my thought. Now, more than ever, we need your passion. And the world needs your passion. More than ever. So what I'm hoping for today is I wanted to share some of what I've been learning and hoping that we leave here feeling inspired, feeling a new energy. So for those of you who don't know me, and those who have never met me, I'm Karen Putz. And just so you know, I'm recording, so if you don't want to be part of that recording, you can shut off your video. So I'm the author of a book called Unwrapping Your Passion. And that book, I looked at, it really took me 2 years, 6 years total to really finish the book. And the reason why is because I was studying passion, studying what is this energy we call passion. And I found different definitions for that passion. I interviewed over 200 people to ask them, what is passion? How do you define it? How do you use it? How do you grow it? And I learned so much for these people who are living every day with passion. So first, after all of those interviews, the definition of passion that I received, which was I thought one of the best and one of the easiest ones to identify with, came from a friend of mine, Jackie St. Ange. She said to me, Karen, passion is your joy. It's the essence of who you are. And it flows like tap water. You turn it on and it flows. For most of us, we have to figure out how to turn it on. How do we make passion flow in our life? And that is a big question. How do we make it flow? There's so many things that happen during the day that block us from passion. And I'm going to dive into that. Hang 1 second here while okay. All right, we're good. So, passion. So how do we make this flow in our life? First and foremost, I want you to identify some of what you're feeling today. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Chat's down here. Go throw out some of the things that you're feeling today. What is it? Some of the feelings, especially with the coronavirus happening, the changes in your life. Go drop some of the comments in the chat and let me know. Frustrated? Bombarded? Bombarded with what? People trying to get our attention, bombarded. Yeah, that's a good one. For me, I feel unsettled. I also feel overwhelmed. I get scared, uncertain, not sure what's going to be happening. Kim says she doesn't feel heard. and that it can be true too. Yeah, I know some of my family members have felt that when we've had conversations, not feeling heard. These are different times for us, really different times for us. We've never really experienced anything to this magnitude before. So it's new for us, trying to figure out how to respond, figure out how to deal with it. So where does passion come in? Let me say this. Passion is energy. And that energy, you could choose to bring it in your life with choice. Even in the midst of the deepest feelings that you feel, you can experience passion. When you shift that meaning of passion into passion is your joy, then it becomes a mission of how do I experience joy in my life? What brings me joy in my life? For many of us, we are self-quarantined right now. We don't have the freedom that we used to have. We don't have that freedom that we've experienced for so long and taken for granted for so long. We don't have that freedom right now. And the key word is right now, right now. So, before we jump into solutions, I want to dive deeper into passion first. How many of you have already read Unwrapping Your Passion? For those of you who have not read it, passion is energy. It's something you bring into your life. How you bring it into your life, you identify what's important to you. Now, in the process of writing the second book on passion, I discovered something that was even deeper about passion that I didn't know before. The many times I coached people, there was one thing that was frustrating. Why is it so easy for some people to dive in, tap into, use the energy of passion, and for other people, they're blocked, constantly blocked? I was trying to figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out for a long time. Then, for those of you who have read Unwrapping Your Passion, you will remember a story in the book. In the book, I showcased a man named Scott Dinsmore. Now, Scott, his story can be found in a TED Talk. What is the work that you can't not do? That's his TED Talk. Scott and his wife, Chelsea, they literally sold everything that they owned, packed up things, packed up some backpacks, and they went on a year-long trip to explore different countries. And they had explored 20 countries at that point. They were on a climb, Mount Kilimanjaro, and sadly, a huge boulder came loose, fell down, and killed Scott. It was a really sad time. So, in the process, I contacted, somebody's asking about the captioning. Scroll up in the chat, I've included a link to captioning. You'll have to use the separate window to see it, but it's there. I can add it now. So that's where the captioning is. So going back to the story, Scott passed away. And I contacted Chelsea in writing the second book, and I interviewed her. It was a real heartbreaking interview. Whew. And Chelsea said something to me. So I asked her about his definition of passion because she runs an entire group on passion. So I asked her, so what's your definition of passion? And she said to me, I either love, hate, relationship with that word, passion. You know? But she said something really profound to me. Passion begins with curiosity. What are you curious about? So when we hung up the phone, I looked at my notes and I sat there and looked at it and hang on. I have people in the house. That's one thing about self-quarantine. So passion begins on the level of curiosity. So I sat down and I looked at the notes, and all of a sudden, things started to, I'm starting to see levels here. During a trip to Camden Ranch with a good friend of mine, Sharon, I was telling her about those levels of passion, and she helped me identify an acronym, CREAR, the clear path to passion. So that began with curiosity. See, what are you curious about? That's where passion is born. So when you're stuck, you look at what are you curious about? Because that curiosity is where the energy starts. Then it moves up to the learning stage. So you've identified something you're curious about and you start learning about it. You start learning, it's new for you, new things you're learning. Then you move up. You have CRE. And the E is what? The excitement stage, the enthusiasm stage. So many of us, when we quote, discover her passion, we discover and we get into that excitement, that enthusiasm stage, and then boom, it stops. For many people, the excitement doesn't last. The enthusiasm fades away. Passion dies a very slow death at that point. So that's what I discovered. There's two more levels there. There's an awareness stage that comes after that excitement, that awareness of, I really like this. I want to do this. I want to experience more of it. I want to go deeper with it. That's the awareness stage of it. Then you arrive at the R, which is the recognition stage. And the R stage happens in two different ways. The recognition stage, at a personal level, you start to recognize, this is my passion. This is who I am. This is my joy. The recognition also happens from other people recognizing your passion, recognizing what you're associating, recognizing your energy, and they're attracted to that energy. That's the law of passion. And that's the next book. So when you look at those stages, you start to see a very clear progression of passion. But remember the dot that happens in this passion level? Let's go a little bit deeper. And here's why this quote, that happens of passion. In the excitement and the enthusiasm stage, there is a part of passion that many people do not understand or do not recognize. And that's the meaning behind passion, the willingness to suffer. When you are willing to suffer, then you are willing to go deep with your passion. You are willing to go above and beyond with passion. You're willing to do more than what's expected of you. You're willing to go beyond what people think is possible. That's passion. where many people escape because we're a feel-good society. We don't like suffering. We associate suffering with, oh, that's bad, or oh, that's the wrong road. So when we identify suffering as a bad thing, we drop what we're doing. We don't try harder. We don't go deeper. We don't go above and beyond. And passion dies with that. So I want to encourage you to take this time that we have together, and I want you to start thinking about, okay, passion is different levels. To really sit down and think about what is joy in your life. What does it look like? I'm going to give you the tool to do that at the end of this session together. So, going back, right now, it seems like we're in a time of really deep suffering and not good suffering. People are dying. It's really hard to think of passion. It's hard to think of joy. It's hard when you're maybe survival level right now. It's tough, and I get it. But I also want to encourage you that life is a season. We're in a season of life right now. And this season is new for us. We've never experienced it before. We're experiencing it in different ways. We're not happy sometimes in experiencing this. Right now, for me, I'm in Nashville. My husband drove down. He soon will have to drive back. He has to go back to work. He doesn't have much of a choice right now. They are not quarantined. But I'm with my family. We've chosen to make the best of it. And how we're doing that, we're playing games. We're going out for walks. Yesterday we went for a walk on a very muddy path, which was a positive thing. There were a few people there. Not many people were willing to go through the mud. So that's what's happening. So for you, your challenge, let me back up a little bit. I had a mentor named Dan Miller, who's also in Nashville. He's been a long-time mentor, and he wrote a book, 48 Days to the Work You Love, and No More Dreaded Mondays. I've learned a lot from Dan. And Dan, he told me, there's a question to ask yourself when you're facing adversity. And the question is this: what does this make possible? Sit and think about that for a minute. What does this situation that you're facing make possible for you? It may be a time to slow down. It may be a time to reflect and to really recognize what you want from life. It may be a time to change something. It may be a time to reflect on what is joy for you. Within these circumstances, there's always three things that you can control. Three, always. Your response to your thoughts, your attitude, and your actions. Those three things, you always, always, always have the ability to change, to shift, and do how you respond, how you choose to see things. This morning, I sent an article to all of my family, and it was just a history of all the pandemics that have been going on. It's interesting to look back, because it went back all the way to 512. And that's many, many, many years ago. And they lost millions of people back then. And it was like, oh, when you look at history, history gives us some hope. because there's hope that we will get through this, we'll get beyond it, and we will come out changed from it. So my challenge to you is to find ways to explore, to learn, to dive into what you're curious about, and use this time for you. It's a unique time. We don't get it back. It's a time to really go deep. What I do, I have a simple spiral notebook that I use, and I use a process where I meditate and I write. You will find that while meditating, you will find a lot of answers, a lot of questions will pop up, a lot of knowing that will happen. And when you write them down, there's power in writing down. I have a stack of notebooks. And last night I was going through them, and there were so many things I had written down that I did not remember. You may think you will remember them. Catch it out. It's not going to happen. So write it down. So again, going back, there's a couple of things that I wrote down that we can do during this season in our life to increase that passion and to do something different. When things are not working, shift something, do something differently. And that little shift can produce a whole different energy. Remember, the birth of passion always happens when you feed the curiosity. That's where the birth of passion is born. So start with where and what you are curious about. Now, I'm also opening this up. So you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them, and I will answer them. We have a few minutes left, so go ahead. What you're thinking, go ahead and post questions. So there are 5 things. One, I mentioned the meditation. For those of you who have never, who've never meditated before, try it. And meditation is simply being quiet and breathing and recognizing your thoughts. Yeah. Go outside, take a walk. Bundle up. Walking changes that energy. It also invites thoughts in your mind as well. Right. Sit down, go grab a spiral notebook and write. Brain dump. It's a wonderful time to take out all those thoughts and just put them out on paper and start taking steps where you identify that curiosity, start running with that. Create, cook something new, paint, write, play games, interact. Play is the next one. When you think back, when you were a child, you played without a care in the world. You swing on that swing. You went down on that slide. You interacted with your friends. You played kick the can, whatever it was. Play again. Turn on some music if you love music and dance for 5 minutes. Learn a whole new game with the people that you're hanging out with. Play jumping jacks. Have a jumping jack competition. Do something fun. Use the internet to find some things that you can do for 5 minutes of fun. It shifts that energy in your life. Okay. So, anyone have any questions so far? So now wait a few seconds. So Peggy is asking how she can keep her business going. How can she broach the subject of buying clothes when people are anxious and worried about money? This business is my passion, as you know. That's a good question. You may have to recognize that your business is on pause right now, and that's okay. What you can do is shift the focus to building even more relationships so that when things change and people are ready to buy those clothes again, you are there, you have a relationship. So shift the focus onto expanding your business by expanding the relationships. So when the time is right, the sales will happen. The next one is, do you find that when you figure out your passion, do things start to fall into place? Yes. That is called alignment. Alignment. When you are aligned with that energy of passion, here's what happens in your life. You start meeting people who share that same energy of passion. You will get up in the morning with a different kind of energy, because you have shifted that. All of a sudden, oh, how can I do more of that? How can I experience more of that? Or I want to learn more of something. A new energy comes in. So yes, alignment happens when you tap into the energy of passion. So that's very good. Anyone else? Kim said this is a great time to change your circles of influence. Yes. Passionate people hang out with passionate people. So, let's say, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you love knitting. You absolutely love it. Maybe you've been knitting with the same people who are grouchy all the time. You can expand it to a new group of knitters, maybe somebody who's knitting for a cause, some people who are knitting with a purpose. So Kim, her advice is good. Shift your circle of influence. You will see new energy come in. If you are surrounded by people whose energy is very low, you will vibrate at that same low energy level. When you start hanging out with people who are vibrating at an energy level that's much higher, you will match it. Bring your energy up to match, and it becomes a good experience. Okay, so to wrap up this, I have two things I wanted to share with you. And one of them is this. This is advice from Dan Miller. I really recommend his book, 48 Days to the Work You Love. And he says, success is never an accident. It typically starts as imagination. It becomes a dream. It stimulates a goal. And it grows into a plan of action, which then meets with opportunity. And his advice, don't get stuck along the way. Right now, it's very easy to get stuck along the way. Don't get stuck. Use this time to shift. So the second thing, and I wanted to wrap it up with, I met a man named Kevin Hall many years ago. His book was recommended to me by a friend, Aspire. So it's Aspire. Love that book. I recommend it to everyone, even more than my own books. Yeah. So Kevin said something. I had the wonderful opportunity to meet him and go and see his conference. And he said, as you run towards your dreams will run towards you. So let's say it again. So as you run towards your dreams will run towards you. And it's true. If you are stuck day to day in the same old routine, where are your dreams? You're not running to the dreams are not running to you. So today and on, what are your dreams? And run towards those dreams, because those dreams are going to start running to you. People will open doors for you. People will show up in your life, parallel on that path with your dreams. New people will show up. You will learn new things. That's what will happen. So for those of you who have joined us today, I have a special gift for you. I have a course that I've developed called Unwrap Your Passion. I'm giving that out to you. It's the exact same course that I spent thousands of dollars learning the process to become a passion test facilitator. And this course is your gift for free. Why am I doing this? Because the world needs your passion. The world needs you to step into your gifts, your abilities, your talent, your uniqueness. And the time is now for that. So thank you guys for joining me in this short thing today. And I hope that you go out there and create that shift and bring more passion into your life. So thank you. Bye, everyone.